Welcome on in for today's NBA pick video play for January 30th, 2019. In this one, going to be talking about this matchup here between the Denver Nuggets and the New Orleans Pelicans, and we're going to give our lean on where we see the better value on the over-under. The total number sitting at 226.5 points. And on the year, it's been a really strong campaign thus far for the Denver Nuggets. They've taken that next step forward in their development. They're actually sitting atop the Northwest standings, which is a very competitive division out in the Western Conference. They're just slightly ahead of the Oklahoma City Thunder, and then also a handful of games clear of the Portland Trail Blazers as well as the Utah Jazz. The Nuggets with that mark of 19 games above 500, 34 and 15 overall. And largely the Nuggets, they've been getting the job done because of their defensive strengths. In their last outing, a lower scoring matchup, not a huge surprise going against the Memphis Grizzlies on the road, another defensive-oriented group, as the Nuggets defeated Memphis by a final of 95-92. On the year, the Nuggets, they're actually a little bit worse than the midway point in terms of average offensive numbers for an NBA squad. They're putting up 111.6 points per game, which ranks them 18th in the league. But again, their strengths come on the defensive side of the ball, 6th in the league in total team defense, giving up less than 106 points per game. The average total that we get in a Denver game this year is around 217 points, which is considerably lower than the total we're getting this matchup. But their opponent, the New Orleans Pelicans, like to play with a bit more tempo. They average a lot more points as well as give up a lot more points. So the average total that we get in a Pelicans game this year is at about 231 to 232 points, but we expect that to be a little bit on the lower side of that scale, given Anthony Davis is out for the Pelicans, and he was averaging nearly 30 points per game. Not having that production in the lineup is definitely a hindrance for the Pelicans, but actually surprisingly, New Orleans in their last outing coming through on the road against the Houston Rockets by a final of 121-116. Now coming into this one against a better defensive opponent, we'll see how they're able to do if they can build off of that positive momentum. But the Pelicans, 5 games below 500 with that mark of 23-28 overall. And this team knows that they're probably not going to be making a run to the postseason this year, and they, for all intents and purposes, could be trading Anthony Davis, and that would just make things even more difficult for the Pelicans as they try to stay competitive out there in the Western Conference or build for the future. But coming into this one against a defensive-oriented opponent, wouldn't be surprised to see Denver control the pace of play and maybe get a little bit lower than the typical numbers that we get in a Pelicans matchup. So with that being the case, we're going to side with the under 226.5 as the better value bet. If you agree, give the video a thumbs up. Disagree, give it a thumbs down. Check out all of our picks for today over at stumpthespread.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we hope to see you guys back here for our next video.